The people have asked for a podcast, and the people shall get a podcast. There's a saying that justice delayed is justice denied. And when justice is delayed, we the people shall dispense that justice in this court. And remember, when it comes to the court of public opinion, you may be found guilty today and not guilty the next day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the People's Court of Public Opinion. I'm your host, Denny Madenzo. And I'm not flying alone. I'm joined by the usual crew. Brenda, people have been waiting for us. We have arrived.
We are cruising.
Thank you. And we are also joined by members of the public. If you like, you can call them the jury, who are going to give us their verdict. Let's check if they are ready to dispense with the people's mandate. Itumukwena, Free State, are you ready?
Hello everybody, I'm Itumile Mukwena. I'm very excited and very ready to give my opinion representing the Free State. Thank you.
Thank you. Western Cape, Ditoriso, are you ready?
Joining in from the Western Cape, I am ready.
Dineo Machila, Mpumalanga.
My name is Dineo Machila. I'm representing Mpumalanga.
Cupcake.
Afternoon, family. My name is Cupcake and we'll be hitting the ground rolling. We are so ready to represent Gauteng.
That's it. Eastern Cape, Rulane, also known as Jonga.
Good afternoon, everyone. More than ready.
Nice. Okay, so far it looks like our members of the public or the jury are ready. So let's proceed to our next panelist. This is the man that you've heard his voice. Now it's time to meet the face or the person behind that intelligence that you've heard. Official Minister, welcome, my brother.
Thank you, Pradeni, to be here in the court of public opinion.
People have been looking for us on the podcast streets, Official Minister. Our people have been roaming the streets, looking for us. They couldn't find us. And I think we need to apologize to our people for taking time to respond to that call.
Yeah, people have been looking for us in the YouTube channels. We're only available in TikTok. We are here. We know you have been roaming around looking for what you always call a superior logic.
Yes.
We've been searching for that. It has not been there. But now we are here. And this is the first of many.
Great stuff. Let's not waste time with apologies. We've got a murder mystery to resolve. The Sandton Murder Case. A lot of people, Official Minister, I think majority of South Africans are divided on this matter. But the state tells us that they've got a strong case. They know who the suspect is. They've got evidence against the suspect. Can you take us through what the state case is all about in this matter? Especially greater focus on the suspect himself, Bafana Mahungela.
Pradeni, I think we should just acknowledge that there have been violence against women and children in South Africa. And in 2020, Cyril Ramaphosa labeled that as the second pandemic. We know that in 2013, Anene Poison was raped and cut into pieces.
Yes.
And Karabo Mokoena, who was 22 years of age in 2017, also lost his life because of the same issues of violent criminal activities. Unene Mrejana, 2018, also was unlucky because of he was raped and murdered in the South African Post Office.
Yes.
Tshegofatso Pule, who she was 28 in 2020, stabbed, hanged on a tree and Nosicelo in 2021 was murdered and put in a suitcase.
And I think in summary, that some of the issues, those are some of the issues that the magistrate summarized by saying this matter is about gender issues in this country.
Precisely.
That's what you're giving us.
That is exactly the point, to say we are faced with serious crimes, and these are Schedule 6 crimes being committed.
Correct.
So when you apply for bail, or maybe let me leave that for later on, to say, when you look at the state case, the magistrate acknowledged that there is a prima facie case. The defense tried to dispute that there is no case at all. But we are saying circumstantial evidence is within our law.
Yes.
So if by 8:05, Kirsten was seen passing by the timekeeper and then entering the gate, the same gate that Mahungela entered around 8:06, 1 minute and 30 seconds later. And 17 minutes later, the cell phone is picked up by Mr. Vespo.
Yes.
What does that tells us? This is circumstantial evidence. No one was there to point, but we are looking at the circumstantial evidence in terms of what does it say. 49 minutes after 8 o'clock, Mahungela is seen leaving the area. Leaving the area with what? Wearing the T-shirt of the deceased. And we ask ourselves questions. Why will a person wear a T-shirt of the deceased?
Yes.
He says, I took it off because I think I left the fingerprints there. Okay, we say fair enough. Why do you take it off and leave the poor lady who is deceased naked? It doesn't really make sense. And this is some of the circumstantial evidence. 8:52, the gentleman is throwing the evidence inside the drainage. The magistrate asked, or in court, they asked during the bail application, why do you put on the T-shirt? There's no answer for that. And we are saying, based on this circumstantial evidence, this guy has got a case to answer, and he must answer it. And on the bail, you see, Section 35F, but then it gives us freedom.
Yes.
So, but what that Section 11, I think is 11A,
Yes.
in the Criminal Procedure Act does is, it limits that right. And the limitation of rights is within the Constitution. This was contested in Dlamini. It went to the Constitutional Court. I think the magistrate cited those cases. It went to the Constitutional Court to say this is against the Constitution.
Yes.
This Section 11A is limiting the rights. And the Constitutional Court said, no, it doesn't. The limitation of the right is part of the Constitution. And we are saying we are not limiting it entirely. We are giving you an opportunity to give us exceptional circumstances.
Yeah.
Why you must be released. And he failed to give those exceptional circumstances. The magistrate says this is a serious case. And CPA says magistrate is within the rights to consider that, but not only that.
Yes.
And what does they say, if the interest of justice permits.
Yes.
And the Constitutional Court tells us that in this case, the interest of justice, it means the interest of society. We've got the interest of Mahungela and the interest of society. So why must we prefer him than the society? Then the magistrate says, no, in the interest of the justice or the interest of society, I'm not going to release this gentleman. We've got serious cases that I've mentioned. So we have a serious case. The state is still going to investigate further, and it is within the law to arrest a person and not grant them bail while you are still investigating. You don't have to finish the investigation. So we have a strong case. We are going to lead that in a trial. This was not a trial.
Usually I would be on the state side, as many people would know. But in this case, I think for now, and I must emphasize for now, I'm going to lean a little bit on the side of the defense. And I want you to help me on some of these issues. As much as the state at this point is not obliged to tell us what evidence do they have, with what we know so far, we know that there are some questions that have been raised by the defense. And one of those critical questions is that as much as the state claims that they've got video footage, which you referred to, that shows Bafana moving out of that park, there's no footage that shows him committing the murder. That's one thing. I'm going to deal with some of those issues that the defense, but that's one of the aspects that they strongly raised, that there's no video footage showing him committing the murder. And remember, they are not denying the defense that it's him in that video footage.
It is in our law that many people have been convicted because of circumstantial evidence.
Correct.
If the circumstantial evidence is presented and the state manages to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, I don't have to know. There are many cases where an eyewitness was not there. But when you look at the evidence, which is circumstantial, it puts the person there. Hence I'm saying he must answer.
Yes.
Those answers may clear him.
Yes.
But if not, then it is within our law. So for me, that there was an eyewitness, that is not a big issue for the state.
Yeah.
The state has got an evidence. They are still probing, but there is evidence, which is a video footage, which the defense wanted to acquire. And I don't know why they wanted to do that, because Section 14 makes it clear. And even the Constitutional Court in Dlamini and Skitkat, it says exactly that our Constitution says a person must have a fair trial. And it says nothing that you must have a fair bail and have the docket and all that. It says a fair trial. And in Shabalala, it states exactly that.
Yes.
That when we go to trial, we'll give you everything.
Yes.
But this is a bail, and the state was within its constitutional right to do that.
Yes.
So I don't know why they made noise. Hence I'm saying is circumstantial evidence is going to be led in trial, and they will have everything. So for me, you don't need to have an eyewitness. There are many cases that have been resolved without an eyewitness.
Right. Let's cross over to Swengiseni now. Swengiseni, welcome back again. We are dealing with the murder of the Sandton teacher, special focus on the suspect, Bafana Mahungela. What is your understanding and your view of the defense case so far with what we know?
Thank you for an opportunity. My understanding with regards to the defense case is that, well, they've made it simple for the state on other issues which touches that has not been proffered to the accused, being the defeating the end of justice and being deft, because as far as the defense case is, they are acknowledging a fault or a mistake from the gentleman by interfering with the body or the corpse of which is the deceased, and also the issue of undressing and taking the clothing of the deceased away. So that's their acknowledgement. But being that as it says, they are not as much as giving a length or maybe to the state to say, no what, this is an admission in terms of Section 220 of the Criminal Procedure Act or not.
Yes.
It's just they're just saying, yes, we have interfered, but it was a mistake because we wanted to see if this person is still alive or not, or what was it that was wrapped up with the rag. So then, as a result, maybe that one can be seen as a negligence, maybe by interfering on undressing, even though there was no justification of wearing the clothes of the deceased.
Yes.
But being that as it said, the Section 60 of the Criminal Procedure Act, when it speaks about the issue of bail application, is precisely on when somebody has to be granted bail or somebody has to be denied bail. The factors are set out in that section.
Yes.
Well, this was a Schedule 6 offense.
Correct.
Where somebody has to satisfy the court that it is in the interest of justice for him to be released on bail, and also that if there are exceptional circumstances existing for him to be released on bail, then the state's duty is to rebut those exceptional circumstances and say, no, these are not extraordinary circumstances, and there is no interest of justice. But neither of that was happened in the case of this gentleman.
Yes.
Because we need not to act as if we were not watching. Here, the state, they never said there is a likelihood for a gentleman that should be released on bail is going to be a flight risk, or he will interfere with the witnesses, or maybe he will conceal evidence, and there is a likelihood that he will also interfere with the public peace. None of this was said by the state that seeks to rebut the gentleman being released on bail. And as we understand that bail application and its agency and detention is not a form of a punishment being a person being convicted or being found guilty. We know detention is a form of securing attendance to the trial. There is no proof that this gentleman, if he were to be released on bail, is not going to attend trial.
Yes.
And the reliance of the findings of the court was saying, no, we are protecting females because this gentleman is a danger to the females. So that's one, if you can analyze it further, it simply says that now it's in a form of a trial. You are deciding and say this gentleman is guilty, he has killed this woman.
Yes.
If you are saying that they are protecting females, it simply means this gentleman is guilty and he has done this thing. So, but you are forgetting that at this stage, you are at a bail application. You are not dealing with the merits. In fact, the only thing I think here, the defense, they have approached the case wrongly by attacking the merits of the case.
Yes.
They should have stuck on bail, and they should have objected immediately when the state was trying to bring merits like these pictures and this evidence about the issue of the commission of a crime. They should have objected to that, not to get into those merits. Just stick on bail application only.
And so if I can just agree with you there, you know, usually I'm on the state side, but like I said to official earlier, on this one, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the defense, and I'm in agreement with you 100%. Over and above what you're saying regarding the failure by the state to rebut, in particular the Section 60 subsection 4 requirements, that there is no dispute regarding this gentleman's whereabouts the day before. The state did not challenge that evidence. Further to that, there's no dispute, as he was led by his counsel, that he never had any intentions to commit any murder. Or what's your view there?
As I said, Danny, like you see, maybe the state at some point they come into terms and say, no, right, we are not at a trial stage.
Yes.
So let's not dwell much on disputing evidence about this gentleman or the charges and trying to prove our charges beyond reasonable doubt or what.
Yes, yes.
So even though the bail application, it was a mixed trial, mixed bail, and which makes it very hard and a confusion to the court, because I think this gentleman on appeal is going to succeed, because most of the time judges, they focus on the factors that are set out there in section 64. They will check if then, is there any proof that this gentleman indeed so he will evade trial? Is there any proof that this gentleman will conceal evidence? What evidence that this gentleman is going to conceal?
Yes.
Then is the gentleman a flight risk?
No
Have you
rebuttal
established that this gentleman, you see, all those things, the judges, they focus on those things, which is the reason most of the time when bail application is being appealed, people, they get bail on high courts.
Yes.
And Bradeni and as Bungseni, I think there was a report that was read in court. So I think maybe we should just clarify that to people who don't know. The report said that there were no injuries to genitalia. So does that mean that
that is the autopsy report?
Yes. Does that mean that the victim was not raped?
I'll throw that question to both as Bungseni and official minister. Let's start with you, Bungseni.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't mean that, you see, but because the matter being a mixed trial, mixed bail application, at some points the presiding officer understood and said, no, what, you haven't proved a case or a prima facie charge on the issue of the rape, because the autopsy says the private part was not violated. But it doesn't mean that there was no rape, because remember, to prove rape, it's something else. There needs to be a DNA, and which it can be a forensic investigation there. So that can be done to ascertain whether there is no DNA of the gentleman or not. But even though, then let's say the issue of a rape is not proven. But in terms of the Sexual Offences Act, they are going to check an appropriate offense that they can attach.
Yes.
In this regard, it can be a sexual offense, which would be sexual assault, because the lady was left naked, and so by that you have already exposed the private parts of the lady to everyone, so that it could be amounting to sexual assault.
Okay, thank you, Bungseni. Let's move to official minister. I think you might want to reply to some of the things that we raised with Bungseni, and also deal with Brenda's question.
Yeah, definitely. But then, thanks for Bungseni to bring that section, I think section 40.
Yes.
In that section 40, the gravity of the offense must be, there are guidelines there that says we must consider the gravity of the offense, right? And the incentive to flee. And that's what magistrate considered. To say this guy thought he has destroyed all the evidence. That is the reason why he didn't run away. But now here is the evidence. There is an incentive to flee.
Yes.
It is there in the section. Think subsection 6G. So, for me, when the magistrate made that, it was clear that the gravity of this offense, the magistrate labeled it as a gender-based violence.
Yes.
And I've given a background about the ladies who were cut, put in suitcases, hanged, and all that. That has been considered, but that section tells us that you don't only limit your consideration to that part only, the gravity of the... There are many things you must consider. And when I think I've cleared all the evidence, and now here the police comes, I've got an incentive to flee. And that's section 40, subsection 40 says we must take that into consideration. The magistrate did that to say this guy can run away.
Yes.
And I agree, he can run away. But then on the issue of no injuries and all that, I think, like Bungseni said, we were in court or we listened. That's a provisional report.
Yes.
And there's a reason why it's qualified as a provisional report. It's because further investigations are going to be done. And what does the defense tell us? The defense tells us that no, the state is busy cooking the report. No, this is normal procedure. Let's wait for the final reports to tell us what happened. And it is through that final report that we can give our view. I agree that provisional report doesn't say much, except that it's telling us about the level of injuries, nothing about the rape. And let's wait the final report to hear what the rapes, what's the status on rape.
Thank you. Even though I earlier indicated that I'm inclined to believe that the defense case is somehow believable, there are people out there, South Africans, who've got a different view, who have had an encounter with the suspect, Bafana Mahungela. And we are joined in studio by one of those people who've had an encounter with Bafana. Welcome, Sisanda.
Thank you, Bro Danny.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, everyone?
Good. Let's start with your name. You came on our TikTok live on the 29th of December 2023 with a very interesting name. Mischief Samurai.
A very unique one, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Does the name speak to you alone, or does it also include your husband, James, who was supposed to be here with us?
Okay, I'm a cat mom. I love cats so much. I know it's very unusual for us Black people to want to have about 40 cats in the house.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that would be my dream. To get old and have a lot of cats, since I know that I don't want any more children.
Yes.
Yeah, so Mischief was our first cat that passed away. Unfortunately, last year we had him cremated.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yes, and we have him in the house with us, in the bedroom.
Yes.
And we had grown a bond. It was a very strong bond because even when he had stroke, he was sick, I used to spoon feed him, you see. And I would say almost every day I was at the vet trying to make sure he's okay, because I knew how it would be devastating for all the three of us in the house, James, me and my daughter, if we had lost him. But unfortunately, we lost the cat.
Yes.
And then we got a second one that was Samurai. Yeah, we still have him. He's going to be 2 years.
Okay.
In no time, yes. And he's a very affectionate cat as well.
Okay.
Follows me around. Talks to me whenever I say something, he's going to say something back, even though I don't understand cat language.
Yes.
But the body language says a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is how I came up with Mischief Samurai.
Okay, I thought maybe Mischief Samurai is somebody who's naughty, given the fact that James had to tackle somebody at some stage.
Yeah, it was about me wanting to create some content for cats on TikTok, since I've seen a lot of that being done.
Okay.
But I've realized that I'm not someone who's very creative when it comes to creating content.
Yes.
Instead, I'm just going to repeat what other ones are doing. So let me just continue with my profile, you see.
Okay. And let's get to the issue under discussion. How has your life been since you first came into our life on the 29th in terms of public engagement after you shared your story of what happened?
Okay. First of all, I'd say after showing up in your life and you confirmed that there was a similar story to what I'm saying, and it was about me and James, and it was not your first time hearing the story. A part of me, I was shook. Let me say, I was shook. I was in disbelief. And I was left asking myself some questions, because the first time I heard about it was when I was walking out the gate, and the security guard who was there the time of the incident. Was the incident happened on the 4th.
Yes.
During the day was another one named Daniel. But at night, when it repeated happening, a security guard named Lucky was in. I think their shifts are 6 to 6, yes. 6 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. they knock off. And then after that, 6 p.m. someone is knocked off who was in during the day, comes the night shift one. So he's calling me and telling me that, do you remember that boy we're going to court with? Because he was also part of the court.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay, yes, that boy. Did you hear that the boy killed someone in the park just up the road? I'm like, how? But I was just driving out the gate, so I didn't have time to stand there and be listening to everything because there was things I had to go do.
Yes.
And then I went to TikTok to try and find it. Okay, he said I must go to Instagram and type Bafana, and then I'm gonna see this boy. I go to Instagram and then I'm seeing headlines. And then I start becoming interested until these news feeds start flooding my my timeline. You see, on TikTok, I wouldn't call it timeline, only Facebook, that is timeline. But when you keep swiping up and they keep showing, And then I see it, I start becoming interested. And then as I watch more and more of them, more pages and more pages with that story are showing up. And then I become shocked and thinking that, okay, I don't understand what happened here. I see a picture of him wearing this blue t-shirt that the lady was wearing moments before he was captured on that camera. I start thinking to myself, because this guy once followed me from the swimming pool, you see, did he mean to do the same thing to me? It scared me a lot, and knowing that he knows where we live and he knows my unit number, he used to be in the same complex as us. And it just caught me by surprise.
Yes.
And I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared. It started giving me anxiety after I could see the facts on TikTok and everyone talking about it on social media.
Yes.
I started seeing the facts. I'm like, this is what he meant to do. That 4th of September 2022, when he followed me with my 8-year-old daughter.
And let's go back to the date so that we can give people proper context.
Okay.
The 4th of September 2022.
Yes.
What happened? You and your daughter are at the pool. James is sitting there somewhere at the balcony. He's watching.
Okay. At home we pray on every Sunday. We have a pray. Me, James, and my daughter. That family pray, that intimate thing. We are house people, by the way. We like being indoors. We don't go out except we're going to do grocery shopping, you see, or to do important stuff. Okay, what happened that day was I woke up as usual. James had taken out the meat from the freezer to fry because he's always doing the frying and I'm doing the cooking in the inside.
Yes.
And then it was very warm that day, very, very warm. I cleaned the house, tidied up, and then told him that, okay, me and Kerry are going to be going to the pool. Well, I don't know how to swim, but I just get inside the water and just relax.
Typical
there.
black person.
Yes, I'm scared of driving. Yeah, typical black person, you can say that. Okay, what happens is I get to the swimming pool with my daughter.
Yes.
There is 2 girls who look like teenagers, I would say around 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
But since I'm 31 years old, I would say they are very young. I mean, when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't look like them no more.
Yes.
So, yes, they are very young. And then I see this boy. He looks very young as well, younger than me. Okay, I greet a normal hello as you would when you find people sitting in an area that you go into. You find people sitting there. Like I found you guys sat there. I greeted. Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't talk to no one. It was like, hello, hello. That was it. I carried an ice bucket that had my beer and my daughter's water with ice in it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got there, I put it on top of the tables on the porch. There's a porch next to the clubhouse.
Yes.
I put it there on one table that was not occupied by anyone. And then on their table, they got a bottle of vodka, their own ice bucket. But this bottle of vodka didn't have any mixer or anything. It was just in an ice bucket, and you could see that they had been here because there were bottles of juices, empty juices. Okay. I'm not talking to them. I'm with my daughter. James is braaiing on the balcony. He had started his fire.
Yes.
And he likes looking at us, you see, because
his people, he admires his people.
Yes, he's like that. He's a jealous type.
Yes.
It's just like when I'm going to the bin, he's just going to come out the balcony to see who I talk to. So I've learned that I don't talk to no one if I want peace in the house.
Exactly. Good girl.
And he will pretend he's not looking at me. Meanwhile, he's just going to move the curtain to see who was greeting me.
Yeah, he's popoli.
Yes. He does that all the time. Especially if I'm going to be around white guys. You see, he knows that I'm into Caucasian. I like Caucasian. And he thinks that anytime I would see a Caucasian man good looking than him, I would just forget about everything and leave him for that, of which it's just his mind playing.
And by the way, for the benefit of the public, James is your husband. Yeah?
Now it's my husband.
Yes.
Then he was my boyfriend. Yes, and we were already living together.
Okay.
We met in 2019, the 6th of November. Yes.
Nice.
Okay, fine. I get there. This boy then speaks to the girls. There's a little argument in their corner. Far from us, we really cannot hear what they're arguing about. These two girls decide to then take their stuff they came with, which was towels and flip-flops, to just get out of the swimming pool. One of them is wearing his boxers. You see these check boxers that the guys like wearing, that you can clearly see that this is for a guy. You slept at the guy's house and you woke up to wear his boxers. Yes, she was wearing that.
Yes.
They said they are going to his house to change. They are leaving. He did not follow them. He remained with us there. He then got up, went to my table. He took my beer without asking me and then opened it. And then I look at him with the look that is speaking, obviously, that, hello, that's mine.
What the hell?
And then he's like, yo, I could use some black. I could do with some black. Can you please give me? And then when I look at him, he looks like someone who did not sleep at all, because he even has this white stuff around the mouth. The saliva is thick and it's turning white.
Yes.
So I'm that person who's easily, like, I would say I'm in essential vomiter, you see. So I don't like sharing, especially with yes. So I'm like, okay, fine, you can have it. And then there's James on the balcony looking at me talk, that you can have it. And then he starts calling me like, oi, you need to come back, with his arm.
Yes.
You see here. You need to come back from the pool. The food is almost ready. Okay. I'm like, Carrie, we don't want your father's attitude today. Let's just go out, get out of the pool and go back to the house.
Yes.
Take our towels, we wrap around. We walk back to the house. Okay? We get to the house, we change. I think about 15 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. I've already changed into tights and a t-shirt.
So at that time, you didn't notice that there was somebody behind you?
No, I didn't.
It's James who's watching from the top?
Yes, it's James who's watching from the top, of which I didn't know that he was watching.
Yes.
But I didn't see anyone following me with Carrie. And our unit, you wouldn't tell where it is. if you didn't follow the road going to it.
Yes, yes.
You can only see through the balconies because it's blocks and blocks and blocks. It's a complex, remember?
Yes.
So it's got passages to go into the units, you see. Okay, fine. We get inside. 15 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. And then James, obviously, I'm in the lounge with James, but I didn't think the knock would be someone I've just seen.
Yes.
And then this person shows up. James opens the door. And then when I look, it's this guy.
The same guy you were with by the pool.
By the pool,
who took
was
your beer.
with, yes. And then he's carrying a happy bubbly. And that vodka I found with him by the swimming pool.
Yes.
But he's alone, not with the two girls that he was with that left him in the pool when we were still there.
Yes.
He's alone. And then James opens the door. And then this guy starts saying, like, I don't know whether I'm at the wrong door. And then he looks at me, he's like, oh no, I'm not in the wrong door. May I please come in? I just want to come chill here. And then James says no. He closes the door and locks the door. He knocks about 3 times. And then he disappears. He's gone. And there's James left talking. And I think the incident happened around 2:30 to 3. You see,
in the afternoon.
It was in the afternoon, yes, when he knocked first time. And then, okay, James is sulking. I went out because I'm always fraternizing with guys. Okay, so we end up arguing. I'm like, you know what? It's really annoying to have a partner very older than you because they don't trust themselves. Please leave that. That is just an argument between us, you see. Okay, we get over it. We eat. Later, it was already dark, past 7 to 8.
Yes.
I'm upstairs with Carrie. And then there's a knock at the door. James won't open. Oh, okay. I missed the part. Before he came back later in the evening. After he knocked, that first time he knocked and James closed the door on him.
Yes.
He knocked to say, can I come in? I don't know whether I'm in the wrong door or not. And then he sees me. He's like, no, it's the right one. Can I come in? He's got a bubbly. Happy bubbly, this pipe thing they smoke.
Yes, yes.
And then a vodka, that bottle of vodka I found him with. After it did not manage to get in, he knocked and knocked and knocked. And then James called the gate, the guards, of which during the day there was one guard. His name was Daniel. He came. And then when Daniel got there, he met the guy at the parking lot coming down from our stairs.
Yes.
Yes. And then he came up to our unit number. And then he's asking Mr. James, what's going on? And then Mr. James is explaining, there's this guy who's very drunk here who won't stop knocking at the door. This guy just forcefully wants to get inside. Okay, Daniel goes to talk to the guy to say, no, don't do that again. Here, we don't go to people's units knocking.
Yes.
We don't care whether you wanted to chill or what. If the person does not invite you to the unit, you don't
are
do
not
that.
welcome.
Yes, you are not welcome.
Yes.
Okay, he then disappears like that. The day goes by. Around past 7 to 8, there's an aggressive knock at the door, but I'm upstairs, I can hear it. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and it's got a loft.
Yes.
So with this loft, there's my daughter's toys, everything. She's got a lot of toys, and her wardrobes are upstairs. Her TV is upstairs. So we are there playing. There's this aggressive knock, and it does not stop. It goes on and on and on. I then decide to go down and open myself because James can hear the knock. Instead, he's just chilling on the lounge and not opening. And he's like that. He doesn't open for anyone whom he didn't invite anyway.
Yes.
So I go and open the door. It's this guy. I close the door. He put his foot right in front of the door so that I cannot close the door. He forcefully wants to come in now. He's changed what he was wearing earlier. He's wearing shorts, a blue vest, and a a black baseball jacket.
And that's the moment the altercation is about to start.
Yes. And then he's got shades. And then he says to me, I brought your shades. And then I see that, okay, these shades, I was wearing them, but I had forgotten about them that time when I got to the swimming pool because I took them off and put them on the side, which means I forgot them. I left them there. And then he took them. And then later he says, I brought your shades. Okay. I attempt to take the shades. He does not want to give them to me.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls back the hand. Then James comes to the door.
Yes.
To ask him, WTF, what do you want here? What are you looking for? And then this guy he just burst out with anger and accused James of calling him the K word earlier, of which there was no fight earlier, there was no argument, there was nothing. But he just accused James of being racist and calling him the K word, and there was never any of that.
Mm.
So they start arguing about that. So what happens is this guy drags James out of the door outside. Remember, our door is right in front of the stairs going down.
Yes.
He pulls James with the t-shirt. I try to pull James back because I see where they're going. They're going to roll down the stairs and it's very dangerous. It's concrete stairs. And then they start fighting. Physical fight.
Mm.
It's physical. I can see this guy's rage. And I'm like, this is a very young man with power. And James is old. He can never stand this man with the physical fighting. You see? I then intervene in that fight, in that violence. We help each other beat up this guy. But yes, the power in that guy, I'm telling you, James wouldn't have done it alone because even me, I could feel those fists that
so you joined. So you joined the altercation after James.
Yes, after James
had
was
already
being
attempted
hit,
to handle him.
Yes, was being hit by this guy, and I'm saying that this guy is gonna hit James. So I join into that fight. We fight him together, and I could feel that guy's fists on me. That if he hits you with a fist, it's not only gonna be your flesh that's gonna feel it, even your bone feels it.
Yes.
Yes, he's that powerful when it comes to that physical force.
Yes.
Okay, fine. We get inside the door. The doctor is there watching the whole thing as well. We get inside the door. I quickly lock the door. I lock and then this guy kicks the door. He kicks the door. He's threatening James of how he's gonna stab him. He's gonna shoot him and that he's gonna hurt him through me. He's gonna prove it to him that he's gonna get him. He's gonna hurt him through me. And we had to call the guards. And the guard that was on duty was lucky for the evening because the one during the day had already knocked off. But he left a report.
Mm.
And then Lucky go adds to that report. When Lucky gets upstairs, the guy is still there. Upstairs, on the door, he won't leave our door. And then Lucky takes out the phone to call for backup. He takes Lucky's phone, Lucky who's a security guard. He smashes it on the ground. And then he even uses his heel to make sure that it's broken. Okay, the backup got there. They tried to defuse the situation, but he was angry at them as well. One of the big guys from the backup ended up slapping him to keep quiet and stop fighting everybody and manhandling the security guards in the complex. They called the police. The police came. 2 police guards came from Sandton police station.
Yes.
To come and take that guy away. They told us that, okay, you guys, you're either gonna come open an assault case or for restraining order.
Yes.
Okay.
And before we get there, when he says to James, he's gonna hurt James through you.
No, he didn't specify what he meant, but he said those words.
Did you understand what he intended?
No, I'm only understanding now after this big case he's facing now but before I didn't. I thought maybe someone is drunk, someone is on drugs. And then the guards are telling the 2 cops who came with the police van that they must take him away because days ago, there's a lady in his block that does not sleep. He tried going into her apartment, trying to break himself into the apartment. Luckily, the lady was around or was awake, and the lady called the guards that there's someone trying to break in here. Later, he went to that lady. I don't know. I wouldn't dwell on that one too much, but
does that happen? So does that happen the same day on the 4th?
No, it was days before for the Unit 81 in his block, but I did not witness it. The guards witnessed it. Yes. So the guards were telling us about that incident, that he needs to go to jail. And then the police take him. And it was on a Sunday. Yes. They took him. They kept him on Sunday night. They kept him on Monday night. They released him on Tuesday morning. And on Monday, we were going to court on Monday morning to ask for this restraining order because James said that he wasn't going to have time with his work and my school. We weren't going to have time to be going to court for assault and this. Let's just get a restraining order against him.
Yes.
Okay, we went to court. It was granted to us on the same day. We took it to the police station on the same day so that it can be served by the officers, the police officers.
Yes.
Okay, we waited for a while. The police officers delivered it before the 30 days, but they took time to take it to the guy. They didn't take it on that day. We took that, or on that same week, we took the restraining order to them. They didn't go serve him with it on that week or on those days. They waited. That is why when we got to court, they said that it was served to him. It hadn't been 30 days. We didn't give him enough time. It was served to him a week before we appeared to court. We were supposed to appear in court. And then it was postponed to another date, which was 22. I remember writing it down on the document.
Yeah.
Yes, at 22 September, and then we're going to come back at 8 a.m. We went back there on the 22nd. He came, and he was late. He came. Okay, we were first called, and he wasn't available. He wasn't available that time. And then we were moved back into the line. They dealt with the ones that were present.
Yes.
But eventually he showed up with a friend of his. You could tell that he was so tired. He was so hungover, the way he was shaking and having an energy drink constantly. Okay, we were called inside the court. We were told that we're gonna have to come back on another date. Okay, fine. We went back on another date. When we went back, they wanted to postpone again. The guy ended up saying to the magistrate, okay, as it is the end of the year, he is not going to make it to the next year because this December he's moving to Mpumalanga. And in court, that was not going to be followed. That, okay, if he's moving to Mpumalanga, we don't see why you guys are continuing with this. And we saw it valid that, okay, fine, he's moving to Mpumalanga. He's certain about that, and he's told it to the court that he's moving to Mpumalanga. We did not see any reason why we should pursue it because he was no more going to be close to us or in this province we are in. And we believe no one would just go to the court of law and just tell lies like that.
And we now know that he was all along around Gauteng.
Yes, and then I remember when he moved out before end of the year, yes. end of 2022. I remember him, it was around December, moving out. He had his family members, and it was December because I remember how I had my sister and her child over for Christmas holidays.
Yes.
Yes, and we were going out to do some stuff at Chili Lane, which is the shopping complex near us. And then I saw him moving, and then I started telling my sister about this guy. I'm like, this is the guy I was telling you about. Finally, he's moving. Won't have to see any of him. And then since then, we've never heard from him until this incident.
Yes.
Yes, until this incident I saw on social media that shocked me a lot, and it gave me shivers down my spine that had I lived alone, it would be what he could have done to me and my daughter. You see, and maybe he retaliated that way because he didn't expect to find a man in my unit. And the fact that he's gonna come back twice, the first time he didn't give me my glasses that he found in the swimming pool. He comes at night to give me those glasses that I had forgotten by the swimming pool. And then after that, he gets angry, he breaks everybody's cell phone, and James wears glasses to see because he's got a very short eyesight. So these glasses of his were an expensive brand, Oakley. He broke those in half. It's there on that restraining order I got from the court, that it's also written there. And then days after it happened, the security guard was in contact with the father.
Yes.
Bafana Mahungela's father.
And let's get to that story, because that's one of the aspects that you raised on our TikTok live when we came on the 29th.
Yes.
You indicated that the father said to you guys he's going to take care of the situation, and that never happened.
Pay for the damages. Yes, that's what he said. Okay. The security guard then comes to us at our door, and then he says to us, okay, he was on the call with this boy's father and wanting his phone to be paid because it's brand new, and this boy broke it on the concrete floor. And then he had broken James' glasses and stepped on them with his heel. Okay, the father spoke to us through the security guard's phone to say that this boy has never been like this, that he does not know. He hopes that we forgive the boy and he's gonna come so that we resolve this as the father of this boy who is responsible for this boy and as someone who's paying rent in the complex whom the unit is under, you see?
Yes, yes.
And then he was someone who was gonna come and pay for the damages.
Yes.
Okay, we waited and waited and waited for him. He never pitched, and we decided not to follow him.
Till today.
Yes, but the security guard was doing follow-ups because he needed his cell phone.
Yes.
You see? And then he ended up blocking the security guard and not saying anything. Yes. And then the security guard told us that he's blocked us. He's blocked me. And I'm like, so what's going to happen with your cell phone? Why didn't they take his cell phone and give it to you as the replacement?
Yes.
It doesn't matter how old it is, as long as you got a cell phone to do the things you need to do. That was the last time we heard from that man. And it was the first day and last time when we spoke to him on the security guard's phone to say that, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going over this boy. I promise you guys, I'm going to pay for every damage. You just write down everything you need. And James told him that, no, don't worry. I already wrote everything down.
Yes.
And how much it's worth. And I've got the receipts and when it was bought. Since then, we never saw his father. My first time seeing him was on the video, on TikTok, on the phone. That was my first time seeing that man, of which we thought we would have seen him. He was going to come to us and say, okay, let's sit down and see how we can resolve this.
Yes.
Instead, they sold us a story that he was moving to Mpumalanga. The court date that was set for February 2023 is not going to be in Gauteng no more. That is why we ended up not pursuing the court case because we knew that it was going to be useless if he's not here.
So when you said that at that night when he started knocking at around 8 o'clock, you said he was wearing glasses. Was he wearing the same glasses that?
No, he wasn't. He was carrying my
he
glasses.
Was wearing your glasses.
To say that he brought me my glasses that I had left by the swimming pool. So my question is, why didn't he bring the glasses that time during the day when he first knocked with the happy bubbly and the vodka? When did he go back to the swimming pool to go find the glasses again?
Okay, let's summarize this, Sisanda, as we are running out of time. One of the things that came out in one of our TikTok lives, which I think led us to you guys, the ex-girlfriend, somebody who said was the ex-girlfriend. I think it could be one of those two ladies that you're talking about. She came into our life on TikTok and said, I think I'm paraphrasing here. She said you could have provoked the guy, and she said you were the one who started beating him. And since we are mentioning her, I think we're gonna give her the right of reply if she still wants to come on this show, because I posted that video of the recording of what she said on our live, and she later came to my DM and said I must take it down because her life was at risk. But So when somebody says her life is at risk,
obviously gonna do that.
Yes, I took the video down. But the essence of what I want to ask you is that she said you were the first one to start beating him, and the husband James came, and he was just trying to defend himself. And he didn't attack you. He was just focused on James. Let's summarize the story quickly so that we can close it.
Okay. I would strongly disagree with that because she was not there for her story that she's saying. She was not there. This boy was alone at our door.
Yes.
The first time he came alone. Second time he came alone, and those ladies were leaving. The time we were at the swimming pool, they left him alone with us there.
Yes.
They said they were leaving, they were going back home. At night, he came back still alone, bringing my glasses alone. No one had provoked him.
So they were not there to come up with a version.
No. No one was there. He was alone. The guy was very alone, and no one started beating that guy. That guy started pulling James by the t-shirt, pulling him down the stairs. I pulled James back with his belt because I could see that if I let them roll, one of them is going to be very injured on the stairs. So he was not provoked, and the lady was not there. It might be what he told the lady, because 2 times we encountered this guy. He came one man alone. He didn't come with no one.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sisanda, for sharing that story with us. The matter is still at its infancy stage. It's going to go to trial very soon, and we will keep on engaging with you guys, and James, and probably Lucky. I'll have a conversation with you again after this show. Then we can take the issue. But thank you once again for joining us.
Okay, you're welcome.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. Right. Let's go back to the panel in closing. Official Minister, let's summarize, my brother. I think we've got a minute or two.
Frateni, those who have watched Oscar Pistorius' case,
yes,
they will understand that when Kirinel brought the character evidence, it was because the lawyer of Oscar Pistorius, then Advocate Beru, introduced the character evidence.
Yes.
We are in the same place here because Advocate Itumeleng brought the character of this gentleman, Bafana, in court. And to the extent that we even got a letter from the principal.
Yes.
So I accept that invitation to discuss his character.
Yes. Because it was brought by his counsel.
Yes. 5 or so.
Yes.
If this case was resolved back then, we wouldn't be here.
The case Sisanda just related to us.
If that case was resolved, or if there were strong measures in that case,
yes,
I believe we wouldn't be here, because Kirsten will still be alive. But it is unfortunate that the law didn't, or Bafana didn't answer for his case then.
Yes.
So I've seen the protection order, Bradin.
Yes.
And everyone else. I've seen the protection order, which was, I think it was September 2014, if I'm not mistaken, August or September.
I think it's 2022.
2022, yes.
Yeah.
That protection order talks about stalking the partner and the children.
Mm-hmm.
There are many things stated in that. And knowing me, I'm a data-driven person. I look at the data. So we are not saying there is a protection order. People will be asking, where is that protection order? I've seen it.
Yes.
It's here in front of me.
Yes.
So for that fact, character of Bafana is very questionable. I mean, what our guest just said now is similar to what we are witnessing in this case. It's following. The circumstantial evidence says Bafana was following Kirsten.
Yes.
Kluyts. She was following this, our guest.
Yes.
And there was a physical fight. And we get to see the body of Kirsten Kluyts there, lifeless body, showing that there was some physical fight. There are common things that we cannot ignore as far as Bafana is concerned.
Yes.
What did the father do? We experience many problems in our society because as parents, we keep quiet and we protect our children. What did the old man do? He promised to pay the cell phones. He promised to pay other things that were destroyed.
Yes.
Did he do that? No.
No.
The father comes to court and cries. I'm not going to be sympathetic for that father. I'll tell you why. He had an opportunity to pay for what he was supposed, what Bafana destroyed. He paid cent. Still, he just promised people.
And he blocked.
He blocked them. What did Bafana tells us? I told my father about this incident. What did he do? The father is the same as Bafana. They are not different to me. They don't have respect for justice. Their character is questionable. They make us believe that they are good people who are there to help according to the character of Bafana. There is nothing like that. As a father, you are supposed to take Bafana to police station. My son, let's go to police station and you explain. I'm going to be behind you.
Yes.
And he comes and cries there. For me, that was an act. And I'm not going to buy it, and many people are not going to buy it. So that is my parting shot, brother. And this is a man who is telling us that when there are funerals at home, he doesn't get close to the viewing ceremony.
Yes.
But he can take off the clothes, and we have to believe. So for me, he's got a very strong, there is a strong case that he must answer.
Yes.
And I'll be happy if his character evidence can be led so that we know what kind of a person he is, because he has introduced it.
Yes.
The legislation allows that the bail hearing evidence is admissible.
Yes.
They must use it.
Yes.
So for me, there is a strong case. This guy must answer it. He must remain there because why? The magistrate was right. He has been roaming around the street after he attacked
Sisanda and James.
And what happened? There was a murder. So must we release that person out of bail so that they can be another murder? No, he must remain there until the end of the trial because he's got a strong case to answer.
Yeah. Thank you, Official Minister, Captain, my captain. That's how we roll. Yes, our jury, as some may want to call them, or members of the public, with what we have heard now, if you were to be asked to give a verdict on this matter, would you say the suspect is guilty or not guilty? Free State.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for this session. I think it has been very informative. The Free State, we are looking at the evidence before us. Bafana says he went to go investigate to see if she was still alive or not. So he took that decision. He decided that I'm going to go forward and I'm going to investigate if this person is alive or not. So he thought about that before going there. And then when he finds that this person has passed away, he decides that, no, I'm going to hide the evidence. I'm going to get rid of the evidence. It doesn't make sense. You already knew there was a possibility that this person might not be alive. So the way you responded after your investigation, it does not align.
Yes.
And then the character evidence. Bafana looks like a normal person. He looks okay, and he has said, and his lawyer has said, he's an okay person. You know, there was nothing wrong with him. He wasn't going through anything. The only thing that was stressing him was his assignment that he had to submit. So for him to react like that, knowing that I could find somebody who's not alive anymore, it doesn't align. And after hearing this evidence of today, for me, the evidence is very, 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 I don't know, he's just burying himself at this point. We believe that the decision from the magistrate to say that he's not going to grant him bail was the correct one. It's the decision that was supposed to be made. The first incident that happened, an official is very right that if the correct measures were done the first time, we would not be here. So we believe with the evidence that we currently have, obviously we are not in trial as yet. We haven't had both evidence. But as we stand right now with what we know and what we have heard, he is guilty.
Guilty. Next province, Brenda.
Thank you. We're going to Western Cape, Ditoriso.
Thank you, everyone. We are of the view that Bafana, given the current facts of the case, he is guilty.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ditoriso. And moving forward, we're going to Dinao in Mpumalanga.
Guilty or not guilty?
Good day, everyone. Guilty.
Thank
There's
you.
a trend on Bafana. Bafana, with the witness just spoke now, Bafana came to bring her glasses. With the late teacher, Bafana wore the T-shirt of the late teacher. So there's a trend of Bafana wearing things of the ladies, following the ladies around. And when was Bafana certified to be an expert for the dead people, to confirm the person that now I can confirm this person is dead? Bafana is not an expert.
Yes.
Suddenly he knew that the teacher is normal. And that alone proved that Bafana knew what he was doing.
Yes.
So with everything that's given on the table, I find Bafana guilty.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're going to Cupcake in Gauteng.
Cupcake, guilty or not guilty?
Okay, following the circumstantial evidence, the accused has mental issues. This is based on the following reasons: violating a corpse and stripping it off. Who does that in their right mind? Secondly, surely the body was cold and it would have taken professionals to undress it. Secondly, the only person seen on the CCTV footage entering the same gates minutes after the deceased, it's the accused. And I think I'm on the fourth point, if not the third. If he did not commit the crime, then He must have seen the perpetrator. It is against this background that we as the GP jury denies bail of the accused. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cupcake.
Thank you, Cupcake. And Eastern Cape, Rulani?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Thank you.
I think those who are on the
Guilty.
comment section, Brennan, they can tell us via the comments.
Yeah.
Then we can take. So far, Brenda, what do we have?
We have Cupcake, Gauteng, with guilty.
Yes.
Palesa Majola, guilty. Dineo Mpumalanga, guilty. Rulani, Eastern Cape, guilty. Free State,
No,
not
Rulani
guilty.
said not guilty.
Not
Not
guilty.
guilty.
Sorry, not
Yes.
guilty. Yes. Free State, Itu, guilty. Western Cape, Ditoriso, guilty. Limpopo Hluli says guilty as well. Northwest, Onkoputsen says guilty. And Sbongseni says not guilty. So we've got two
Not guilty.
guilty, and the rest says guilty.
Is it possible for you to just discuss the appeal? Is it possible for Bafana to appeal the bail, and what are his chances of actually succeeding with the appeal?
Yes, it is possible. Actually, they've indicated their intention to appeal. The prospects of success, I would leave them to the captain and Sibungiseni when he comes back online. But from where I'm sitting, I think they look good. They are likely to get the High Court agree with them, but I could be wrong. This case is complex. And the magistrate gave us some of the avenues that we never thought. The gender issue, the fact that if this guy is released, he's likely to be a danger to society. I think that's a powerful statement coming from the magistrate. And the high courts might be inclined to agree with her. But I think it's fair to say this is a complex matter. So we will see how it goes. But indeed, they are going to appeal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the jury is out. And in conclusion, I must say, the views expressed in this show are a mere measure of public sentiments. According to our country's jurisprudence, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of law, and that applies to Bafana Mahungela as well. Until we meet again, please subscribe, engage, and share. We should meet again very soon on this matter or any other legal matters that you know we've dealt with before. Ciao, ciao.
Another production from Solid Gold Podcasts.